mentioned before, my name is Chen, and I'm here to talk to you about new technologies and systems that are being built around the Bitcoin protocol. Now, as mentioned before, the Bitcoin protocol is more than just a new emerging payment method. It is actually the culmination of years of research and a solution to a long-standing problem in computer science, the Byzantine generals problem. Now, there are systems that utilize Bitcoin as money, and there are also some systems that utilize Bitcoin's protocol. As was mentioned by Kevin Moore, the blockchain is the crowning achievement of the new Bitcoin protocol. So, before I get into some of the newer systems and technologies that use Bitcoin, I'd like to talk about the systems that you've probably already heard about. So the most simple system that utilizes Bitcoin is none other than a Bitcoin exchange. So Bitstamp, BTCE, BTC China are some of the largest Bitcoin exchanges based on trading volume from today. Now, these Bitcoin exchanges, they accept fiat deposits and they accept Bitcoin deposits, and then they allow their users to set bids and asks publicly, and this is the primary price discovery mechanism for the quote-unquote Bitcoin exchange rate. Now, there are several dozen of these Bitcoin exchanges now around the world of varying legitimacy and varying regulatory compliance. But, and so economists recognize that in order for anything to become considered money, it has to be a good store of value, it has to be a good unit of account, and it has to be a good medium of exchange. Now, as long as Bitcoin exchanges exist to provide liquidity, then Bitcoin can function as a medium of exchange. It doesn't matter if the Bitcoin exchange rate is 1 cent for 1 Bitcoin or $1,000 for 1 Bitcoin. Bitcoin will still function exactly the same as a medium of exchange. Now, due to the security and the speed of Bitcoin transactions, and the fact that processing fees are literally around 1%, 0.01% of transaction. Bitcoin allows for really efficient microtransactions and macrotransactions as well. So fields such as online tipping, paywalls, and microcredit are being revolutionized by Bitcoin. Now, before I get into specific examples, I've got a question for y'all. Which one of these guys is the CEO of Bitcoin? Rhetorical question. None of them are. So the guy that I recognize is Mark Karpeles. He is the CEO of Mt. Gox, formerly the largest Bitcoin exchange up until around 2012. For the last year, they faced liquidity issues on the fiat and the Bitcoin side that resulted in a fantastic implosion around last month. Now, what that really shows people, observers, and Bitcoin enthusiasts is that when you hand your Bitcoins over to a centralized entity, be it an exchange, be it a company, be it a service, they now have control of your Bitcoins. All you have control of is a username, a password, hopefully some two-factor authentication, and that is all you have access to. The guy on the top right is Ross Ulbricht. He is the alleged mastermind of the infamous underground marketplace known as Silk Road. He was arrested last October and is currently facing very serious criminal charges. And the guy on the bottom right is Charlie Shrem. He was CEO of BitInstant, which was a service that allowed users to use MoneyGram, Western Union to get dollar bills into exchanges such as Mt. Gox. Now, it's very unfortunate for him that a lot of his users were also users of Mt. Gox and were also users of Silk Road. And he is now under house arrest in Brooklyn. So what these three men scale really tell us is that Bitcoin is not anonymous, as many detractors will have you believe. Bitcoin is really pseudonymous, and the government is able to track criminals where they're found. So back to the way that Bitcoin as money can create more efficient microtransactions and sort of payment systems. So let me get a raise of hands. This is not a rhetorical question. How many people here have used BitTorrent? Well, I'm not timing the recording. Or still living in the 20th century fox. You guys can be honest. Well, that's a little less than I expected. But there's a BitTorrent application called Crosswire that recently introduced a functionality or as was done in the first implementation of this application last month, a hip-hop group in Toronto released an album via BitTorrent, and they allowed Bitcoin donations to be sent directly from within the BitTorrent client. Now, that experiment resulted in over 50 Bitcoin transactions from all different corners of the world, and the average donation was about 5 cents to $1. Now, these type of microtransactions are not possible with PayPal. They are not as possible with Venmo, with all these centralized currency solutions. Another similar example is a small company named Bitwall that was able to land a partnership with the Chicago Sun-Times out of Chicago. The Chicago Sun-Times is the 8th largest newspaper in the United States with about 500,000 paper subscribers. Now, on February 1st, visitors to the Chicago Sun-Times website were greeted with a pop-up that asked them to either tweet about the website or to make any amount of Bitcoin donation. Now, instead of just 50 transactions I was showing the Bitcoin experiment, this experiment garnered over 500 different transactions from around the world as Bitcoin showed support for this large company's experiment. So all the different fees were aggregated, and all in all, around $1,000 were donated to a charity of the Chicago Sun-Times choice as a result of this experiment. Now, another way that Bitcoin can be used in the international market is shown by this small company, BTC Jam. They recently moved from Brazil to San Francisco and just got out of a venture capital accelerator program. And what they started in 2012 was a peer-to-peer lending and borrowing system on an international scale. A borrower that wanted to use BTC Jam would have to start with microloans and establish his credit score through a P2P reputation system. Now, this is an incredibly ground-up money transmission system that is able to be used by anyone with an internet connection. Now, obviously, there are issues of fraud, but that is something that peer-to-peer reputation systems have addressed in the past. You know, you have to imagine back in the days when Visa was first coming up, when PayPal was first coming up, not many people trusted them as well, and only time changes these things. Now, beyond the services that I showed that use Bitcoin as a sort of money, the crowning achievement of the Bitcoin protocol, as I mentioned before, is the promise of a blockchain. Now, blockchain is decentralized and distributed record keeping. And in the case of Bitcoin as money, the data that is being decentralized, distributed, and verified continually are monetary transactions. Now, that is not the only type of data that can go online. It can be anything from files, and here's an example of Proof of Existence is a website that allows you to put a hash of a file that you control online onto the Bitcoin blockchain and prove that that file, exact file, existed at a certain point in time, as proven by the Bitcoin blockchain. Now, that service doesn't require Bitcoin to be sent or anything like that. It's not a monetized service, is what I meant. Now, another example is the Namecoin network. Now, the Namecoin network is a distributed domain name system network, and they are piggybacking off of the Bitcoin mining network, which has currently around 10 petahashes of mining power. And in this way, they're creating a decentralized way for websites to be listed online with a .bit appendage as opposed to a .com appendage. And with recent events around the world where we have governments blocking Twitter and stuff like that, a decentralized internet which is built on the Bitcoin blockchain is an increasingly attractive proposition. Now, along with website names and money, a blockchain can also be used to distribute decentralized information. no centralized authority, either government or even Twister itself, would be able to remove a user or to censor a user. Now, this was mentioned by Kevin a little bit, but here are 3 quote-unquote Bitcoin 2.0 projects. There are a lot more, but there's Ethereum, Mastercoin, and open transactions. Now, the promise of data in a blockchain, it goes beyond simple messages or monetary transactions. We can put in smart contracts that have code that executes. And all these things can be done without a centralized authority. So, if you can think it, it is possible to be built with the new technology that Bitcoin offers. Thank you.
Thanks,